My name is Stephanie Fleischer. I live in San Diego, California, and my job title is Environmental Health and Safety Specialist for a biotech company in the area. So, what is an environmental health and safety specialist? Um, I think it's actually a really cool job. I'm very excited about it. For me, the core of it is that I go to work and I keep people safe for everything that they're doing in the workplace. That means that they get to go home to their friends and family in the same condition. So, two of my big responsibilities are incident investigation. Unfortunately, there are still sometimes small things, sometimes large things that happen. So, I investigate to find out what happened exactly. For example, I had a coworker who was opening a glass ampule with their hand and they cut themselves. So, thankfully, it wasn't too big of a cut. They were able to just put a band-aid on it and go back to work. But ideally, you shouldn't be cutting yourself at work. So I was able to work with that lab to provide a decapping tool. There's actually a lot of different tools that are available that people don't always know about, and EHS can help by stepping in and looking at those processes and helping people find better ways of doing their work. Another area I work on would be ergonomics. So people are often sitting at a desk, staring at a computer for a long time, and if they don't have the right setup, that can cause a lot of strain on their body, especially their neck and shoulder. I help to evaluate how they're sitting and make sure that they are meeting the proper specifics. So generally we're trying to have a very neutral posture, and then with our elbows at 90 degrees. I also help a little bit with regulatory compliance. So there are different federal, state, and local regulations that companies need to be in compliance with, especially if they have hazardous materials like flammables or corrosives on site. And I help my team keep track of that and make sure we submit everything on time and complete in line with what is needed by the authority. Best and worst part of my job is kind of both the same. It's the people. Our director always says safety would be so easy if it wasn't for all the people. We want people to be as safe as possible, but sometimes it seems like people just aren't paying attention, or maybe they turn their brain off. Recently, we had a vendor on site who was moving a piece of equipment for us. And at one point, those people wanted to look at the top of the equipment. So their partner knelt on the ground and the other person stood on top of them to look at the top of the equipment. Now, we do have ladders available and would have provided had we been asked, but that's not something that we had ever planned for. You don't think that you're just going to stand on top of your coworker's back, but hey, it happened. So we're working through a corrective action plan for that to make sure that it doesn't happen again. But then the counterpoint of that is the best part is getting to work with people, is someone saying, oh, I didn't know about that when you help them out. It's about getting to go deep into an investigation and seeing how is it exactly that you do your work, because EHS gets to talk to every department in the company. We're not siloed with just one group. We get to talk to everybody. We get to move around the campus and see everybody. So there's a lot of different things that I get to do. And again, I get to talk with all the different people in the company. My path into EHS is kind of interesting because I actually have a bachelor's of arts in history, which doesn't seem to line up with the more STEM career that I ended up in. I've always loved history ever since I was a little kid. When I was 5, I found out my beloved teddy bear was named for President Theodore Roosevelt. I thought that was just so cool. Opened up a lifelong fascination with presidents. And I think history is super important to understand how we got to where we are and even to see patterns that recur. So I studied history for that, for the research and for the analytical focus. I don't know that it's necessarily the clearest progression that my career has made, but I've been lucky enough to find niches that have really valued the analytical and the organizational skills that I have. And that's what's enabled me to move forward. That's where I've been able to be a success and especially to contribute, because not everybody likes digging into those little details, digging into those regulations and the little bits, but it's actually something I enjoy doing. And I feel like my schooling has helped me to be prepared for that. Probably the number one skill that's helped me get here is just being willing to ask questions. Something that one of my bosses has said was, when we're doing investigations, we're kind of like Columbo, the TV detective, and you just ask, oh, why is that? Why is that? Why is that? I think that also combines with a humility and a very keen awareness that I don't know everything. I have a bachelor's. I'm working with a lot of people who have masters or who have PhDs, who have gone really, really deep in specific technical scientific disciplines. And I really don't know a lot about that, but I do care, and I do have a determination to see things through, and again, make sure that everybody is kept safe while they're at the workplace so they can continue to live their life the way that they want to live. So I think those would be some of the key skills, and happily they're continuing to be refined as I learn from the rest of my team and people around me. To girls who are interested in working in my sector, I would say to definitely make connections wherever you are. You never know who's going to be able to give you some guidance, give you some advice. I definitely was very shy as a kid, but I was lucky enough to have people who cared about me and who helped me along. And I just think that so much of work is about those soft skills, is about being able to work with lots of different personalities, is about being able to be patient, and just being able to keep going, to be able to keep picking yourself back up, even if things don't work out initially the way that you want. I would also say it's really, really important to think about who your boss is and who your coworkers are. I've had mostly amazing bosses, and that's really helped me. They've been willing to invest in me and encourage and support me. And then also just, it helps if you like your coworkers, even if you don't love the work that you're doing all the time. If you have coworkers who you can take short breaks with, you get to have lunch with, you look forward to going in to see, it can really help you, especially as you figure out maybe a different path for your overall career. Having those coworkers who make work pleasant is so helpful to keep you going along.